All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join us here tonight. It is Sunday night. If you're here live, it is Sunday, September 18th, 2022. If you're here on the replay, whenever that may be, stick around. This show is going to have tremendous evergreen content value. Tonight, I'm going to have a couple of very special guests joining me on the panel here. And we're just going to continue a trend that we've been doing lately. Let's keep it going. Let's keep the positivity going out here on YouTube. And let's help everyone become a happier and healthier person. Now, before we get to that, let me first of all make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out. Give me just a second for that. It should be popping on out there any second because there is a 1-minute delay. And there it goes. Let me check out the back end of YouTube and make sure that that is rolling smoothly as well. And it absolutely is. All right. So RJ Sandifer and my lady are going to be joining me momentarily. My lady will probably be joining me first because RJ was just ready to come on the panel. And when I brought him on the StreamYard before we went live, he had choppy audio. And he did say they are having storms out there in the Okeechobee, Florida area where he lives. But I told him restart. That should fix the issue. It shouldn't really be affecting your internet. We've had storms here in the Bay Area. My fiber line is working well, so he probably just needs a restart. But guess who's here? Guess who's backstage? The woman of every hour on my channel. My wonderful, beautiful, amazing lady. Hello, babe. Welcome to the show. Big round of applause. Hey, babe.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
How are you doing? Oh, you know what, baby?
What?
There's something weird happening with the audio.
Is there?
Are you there? Hang on. It could be on my end. Let me see. Are you there, babe?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you're sounding really, really choppy. Let me see if I can reset this. Give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream here. And folks, we will be back momentarily. We're going to go offline and we'll be right on. All right, folks, we are back live. My apologies for that. I had an audio glitch on my system, and I had to just reset my audio driver. But everything seems to be rolling quite well. Let's try this one more time. Please welcome my wonderful, beautiful, amazing lady, the lady of every hour on this show, because she's my lady, obviously. She's the lady of every hour to me. Please welcome back, babe. You're back on the show. Big round of applause.
Thank you, love.
You're very welcome. You're welcome. Sorry about the audio, glitches earlier. I run so many audio drivers and programs at once on my laptop, and I mean I've got an i9 16-core processor. 8-core, 16-thread processor, 64 gigs of RAM, yada, yada, yada. I know that doesn't matter to you. It's a very powerful system, but even if you have the best system out there, sometimes you still have glitches. And at least I know how to fix it fairly quickly and get the show back on the air. How you doing, babe?
I'm hanging in there. Not feeling so great.
Yeah, my lady's not feeling too well, folks. She's a little under the weather, and I've been a little under the weather too, but I seem to be recovering a bit quicker. I've been on some Dayquil and some Advil, and that's been helping out. So I don't know how long my lady's going to last tonight. RJ and I will probably go for an hour, hour and a half. But why don't I do this, babe? Why don't I bring on RJ? Because tonight, I was talking with you behind the scenes, and I was saying tonight, I'd like to discuss, how things were when you, RJ, and I were growing up compared to how they are now. Because all three of us are Gen Xers. I believe RJ's 42, almost 43. You're 47. I'm 48. And I think it'd be a really interesting show to share the perspective of the past to the current world. What are your thoughts about that before I bring RJ on, baby?
Oh, no, I think that's a great subject to talk about. There's a lot of differences going on in the world.
Absolutely. And you're a real super trooper to be on here, and we appreciate that, baby. Seriously. I will definitely reward you for that. I like to reward my lady for good behavior. As all you guys should, reward your ladies for good behavior, right? My lady's a good woman. I'm just messing with you, babe. Kind of, sort of. But anyway, let's bring RJ onto the show. RJ Sandifer, welcome to the show. Big round of applause, RJ. RJ?
Yeah, I'm here.
You sound good. It was my fault, RJ.
Okay.
Oh, no, RJ, honestly, before you start to explain, it was my fault. I had an audio glitch because when my lady came on, she sounded crackly too. Then I realized I had to reset my audio driver. So my apologies to you, brother, for having you restart your system for no reason. Anyway.
Okay, that's fine. Well, actually, you got the age wrong. I'm 43.
43. I can't remember. I thought you were 42 or 43, somewhere around there. But you're 43 years old, and you're a Gen Xer, just like my lady and I are.
Yep. And
yeah.
I'll tell you the way, even with school, even just going to school. I remember going to high school, having homework every freaking night. Now, I'm serious. When Zachary comes home, it's like he don't even have any homework at all.
Mm-hmm.
He goes back in his room and gets on his PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And he plays on that PlayStation all freaking day.
Okay.
And it pisses me off because, number one, I didn't get to play around. Here I am, blind. I would have to come home, take out the Braille machine, put paper in it, and be sitting at the bar with, because we had a bar at my house when I was a kid. And I would have to sit at the bar, and my mom would have to read my high school homework to me and stuff like that. And I would not get done with my homework till 11, 12 at night because there was so much of it. Nowadays, these little brats don't even get homework, and it pisses me off. It makes me almost want to just go to the school board and raise hell. And I'm not even a parent.
Neither am I. And I want to raise hell too, and I'm not a parent either. But go ahead, RJ.
But they're so worried about this bullshit. Most kids don't even know their history. They don't even know their history. They don't know science. They don't know shit. But yet they can tell you the latest TikTok trends. They can tell you all this other bullshit, but they can't tell you anything about what happened in 1776, what happened in 1861 when the South seceded from the Union and the Civil War started. They can't tell you the causation of the Civil War. They can't tell you about the Reconstruction period following the Civil War or anything like that. They can't tell you about the causation of World War I or World War II, or even the Korean War, or anything like that. But they can tell you the latest TikTok videos, and it pisses me off. It really pisses me off. And we got kids running around. Oh, I'm a girl trapped in a man's body, or I'm a man trapped in a girl's body. Well, how about instead of focus on that, focus on learning something instead of being a damn simpleton for the rest of your life?
Yeah, and RJ,
it really pisses me off.
Right, but it's even more funny. A lot of these guys nowadays, if we look at the guys, they're struggling more than the women because they're wondering why women won't pay attention to them. Right.
I know.
And they don't even realize what's happened to women over the last 55 years since women have been liberated and they got equal rights and they have the same civil rights that once only men had. These guys have no clue. A lot of these young kids have no clue, and I think it's more so the men that are struggling than the women. And you're talking about your nephew Zach. No, he's a good kid. I mean,
He's
we're
a
kind
damn
of
good kid.
yeah,
He's a
but
good
go ahead.
kid, but the problem is they're not teaching them structure anymore in school. They're not
Right,
teaching them, okay, when you get home, you get that homework done and you bring it and you hand it in. Now,
right.
granted, thank God they don't give them a lot, but they should give them some. I mean, I don't, I, but I mean, that's just me. I was raised differently, and you were talking about these dumbass, needy beta bitches. Pardon my French, but they don't know how to treat women. They don't know how to talk to a woman. It's, oh, hi, baby, how are you? No, you don't do that. What you say is, hi, I'm RJ, how are you? It's nice to meet you. I didn't get your name. Oh, Shirley? Well, it's nice to meet you, Shirley. Well, anyway, I gotta go somewhere. Nice meeting you. And then you walk away, and Shirley says, hey, RJ, can I have your number? Um, I'll think about it. That's what I do.
Well, that's a good way to put it, RJ. You got to leave a little mystery, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
you can't you can't come off weak, needy, desperate, or insecure. Real quick, RJ, we have Holly's hauntings and happenings in the chat. Holly, would you like to pop on the panel for a little bit and join us? You can if you'd like. I can send you the link behind the scenes to Facebook Messenger privately. My lady is also she's on the panel, but she's muted because she's not feeling well.
I'm back. I'm back.
What?
I heard you coughing in the other room, babe, but that's okay. I'm glad you took care of it. You feeling better?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back.
Well, I don't want
Hey,
I don't want her to stress her voice or anything because I want to respect her too. I mean,
she wanted to be here to support you, RJ. That's the thing. Like
oh, that's sweet. Okay,
I
thank
mean,
you.
baby,
I
you
felt
tell
bad for
RJ.
Friday. I
Oh,
felt bad for Friday.
oh well, your health comes first, and I would have rather you gotten rest and then worry about being on my show.
Yeah. Thank
I
you.
mean,
Yeah.
you're welcome. I mean, that's just the way I was raised. Because my parents raised me, and I think this is why people, some people on YouTube, they misunderstand or they think I'm an asshole, but I'm not. It's I was taught not to use my blindness as a way of trying to use people. You know what I mean? Like I don't say, "Oh, well you should just cater to me because I'm blind." No. No. Now, are there things I need help with? Yes. Um would I need someone to help me read something if it isn't in braille or in audio? Yes. But other than that, okay, if it's, if it was in braille or in audio, then I can read it my own damn self. But like I don't like Eli. This is I guess what I've been trying to explain. Okay, my dad was the type of person that even though I was blind, even though I was his blind son, every Saturday he would come in my room and he would say, "RJ, I want you to get up. I want you to go out there. I want you to eat breakfast. Then I want you to walk out the back door and meet me in my shop. You're working today."
Hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I had to every Saturday I had to go because at my old house my dad built him a shop out back, and people would bring their cars in for him to work on them. And then after he would work on them, he would paint them. And the whole family pitched in. Me, my sister, my mom, and him. And he would show me where to paint the car or where to sand the car, and I was expected to do it. And I remember one time we were out there working on this gentleman's car, and this gentleman's like, "Well, your son's blind. Why are you making him sand that car?" And he said, "You know what?" He says, "As his dad, I don't want people to feel sorry for him because he can't see. I want people to know that my son can do anything a sighted person can do with assistance if he needs it.
Right.
Because
Amen.
people are not going to feel sorry for him because he's blind.
Right.
So it's better for him to teach. It's better for me to teach him this now, so that when he gets older, he ain't got to worry about begging, begging from other people."
Right.
And I was like 9, 10 years old when this happened. And when I got older, I went, like 13, 14, we got a karaoke machine one year for Christmas. And my dad knew these people that were going to get married. And they're like, "Well, we need some entertainment. We need some entertainment." My dad said, "Well, my son and daughter can sing. We'll have them practice a few songs for you, and we'll have them sing." So that's what we did. We went to that wedding. We sang the songs at the wedding, and they paid us $400. Well, then my dad got the bright idea that all three of us were going to sing. Now, my mom couldn't sing, but all three of us would sing. And so, what he would do is when he would work on people's cars, he would ask them, "Hey, do you know of any establishments that need entertainment around the county?"
Mm-hmm.
And so then my dad would get the contact information for these establishments and say, "Well, me and my son and daughter can sing karaoke." And so we would be invited to different places, you know, bars, weddings. One time we sang at the Shriners Club, and sometimes we would sing on weeknights, sometimes we would sing on weekends. And plus, I had to do homework. So that was a pretty, stressful time. And then, my teacher started getting concerned because they're like, "Well, why are you taking him out singing and stuff like that?" And blah, blah, blah. And finally, my mom said, "It's none of your damn business what I do with my son after school hours."
Right.
Because back then they were trying to tell the parents how to raise the kids. And my mom was one of those people because she was involved in the law, because she worked for a lawyer and for a judge as a paralegal. And one day, the assistant principal decided, I was in middle school at the time, I was in eighth grade. The assistant principal decided she was going to get up in my mom's face and tell her that I was going to serve detention. And my mom said, "He ain't going to do a goddamn thing. I'm his mother, and I can have you replaced. So don't you ever tell me what my son's going to do and what he's not going to do. He will
Right.
not serve that detention because I'm his guardian." And I said, and she said, "I work for an attorney. Do you
Mm-hmm.
want me to school this? Do you want me to sue this school district?" "Well, oh no, oh no, oh no, Miss Sandifer, oh no, Miss Sandifer." "Well, then you better stop it right damn now." They never made me serve another detention in all my years of going to school because they were afraid of my mom. They were scared of her. She would go into freaking court, and and lawyers and even judges would call her Mrs. Sandifer because they knew that even though she wasn't a lawyer, they knew she knew her shit. And if and nobody could get anything past that woman. Nobody. Nobody. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Kind of sounds
Yeah.
like mama, huh, baby?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. No. Mamas that love their kids will go into mama bear mode, like you say, babe. And you've done that for your kids. And
Damn.
my mother has done that for my brother and I. And, RJ's parents, God rest their souls, when they were around, they
Yeah.
did that for him.
Oh yeah. What was it
Yeah.
like for you? What was it like for you growing up? What was it like for you growing up, um, Eli? Were you one of those kid? Were you like a shy kid, or were you like one of those? Oh, hey, I'm Eli.
That's a great question. Yeah, I was a little bit shyer when I was younger. Um, I was picked on a lot in grammar school.
Mm,
And my first year and a half, almost 2 years in high school. And then I
oh
turned it
shit.
around. And the reason it happened is because, and I'm not blaming my mother for this. I love my mother. I've talked about this before, but I'll say it again. My mother taught me to be nice to everyone, no matter
Mm,
what. So even if people treat you like crap, be nice to them. And,
mm,
I would never stand up for myself against these bullies in grammar school and my first, year and a half or 2 years in high school, my freshman and sophomore years.
mm,
And I understand now what my mother was trying to do, and it was the
mm,
right thing. But sometimes, you can only ignore things for so long, and people continue to poke, right? And then you just have to say something, right? Because if not, you're going to
mm.
snap. It's a natural human reaction. The same thing out here on YouTube, right?
Oh
You
yeah.
got to learn to ignore many stupid things that other creators do, especially if they're coming at you. Um,
Mhm.
because it's a shared platform and it's really out of your
Right.
control. And the more that you respond to things, the more they're going to keep coming at you. It's the same thing in real life. So I get the concept my mother was trying to teach me, but I was too young to understand that concept at that point. And so were the other kids, right? And so I just basically dealt with being bullied and picked on all throughout grammar school.
Mm.
It didn't happen every day, and I had friends. Don't get me wrong, but there was a group of people that would pick on me in grammar school and high school, just like there's been one out here on YouTube. And I think
It,
honestly, RJ, and we what's that?
well, yeah, but I mean, like, um, we're. I know you were talking about the bullying aspect of it, but like, were was there a particular subject that you liked in school? That's what I was asking you. Like, were you a science whiz? Were you a math whiz?
Um, Honestly, I liked physical education the most, PE class, but I mean that's not an actual subject. That's just physical, fitness and stuff like that. Um,
Oh
I'll be
wow.
honest with you. I'll be honest with you, RJ. The things that I really love today, I hated while I was in grammar school. For example,
Mm-hmm.
um, hang on a second here. Um, Switched accounts and watched an ad just to say hi. Well, thank you, really, Eli, aka Mr. Rom. I think you have a YouTube premium account on your main account. You can actually add your really Eli account as a manager to your channel, and that'll give you premium access to that account. There's a little tip and trick right there for you. But I haven't had a chance to do any maintenance on the channel, but I will do that tomorrow, next day, and it'll be all good. Sorry you had to watch an ad, man. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, yeah. See, RJ, I and Babe, you're still there, Babe, right?
Yeah.
I didn't like history and I didn't like science when I was in grammar school and high school and growing up,
Wow.
and I regret it. You know why? Because I'll tell you when I started to really like history and science. I've shared this before a while back. It's buried somewhere, but I'll share it again. Remember back in '08 where
Mm-hmm.
everything switched from standard definition to high definition?
Oh yeah.
So in 2008. So we're looking at about 13, 14 years ago. That's when, before that, we had like 5 or 10 HD channels. HD was just, hitting the scene here in the US. And then in 2008, 100 plus channels became HD, including the History Channel, the Science Channel, Discovery, and all that, right? And when those channels were first launched, History Channel, Discover, HD. Now they were around before that in standard definition, but when they were first launched in HD and they were creating HD programming, they were doing a lot of stories from the past. They were sharing history from the past that I never enjoyed reading out of a book during my grammar school years and high school years. But now seeing the high definition visuals and hearing the sounds and hearing the narrator emphasize what was going on, I really enjoyed it. Right. And now don't get me wrong. I passed. I got good grades. I just hated that shit because I didn't know how it was going to benefit me in my future life. Right.
Yeah.
And now I understand it. But back then I didn't. I think the problem was the way teachers were teaching back then was in a very boring way. They would, unless you had the right history teacher or science teacher, it was just very, very boring to someone like me. My mind has always been racing a million miles a second, RJ. And if I'm not constantly stimulated with something interesting, I get bored. And I just saw science and history as boring until I saw it better presented decades later when HD became mainstream on all these, channels on cable TV. So,
it's really weird that you mentioned that because the one subject that I hated besides math was science because it was foreign to me and I just didn't grasp it. Like atoms, protons, neutrons, neurons, all the rons you want. But it didn't really make any sense. And then, like what you were saying, history, I ace history. I loved history. Middle school, high school, and college. I loved history. I still do love history, but me and science had a bad relationship. We I didn't like science, but now looking back, I'm like, listening to the Science Channel, I'm like, oh, okay, I understand what they were trying to tell me back then. I mean, and it's really weird. Like when you're a kid, you hate it, and then when you're an adult, you kind of understand. Okay, now I understand how all this comes together. But let me ask your girlfriend here. Tell me about what it was like when you were in school.
Oh, well, I was gonna pop in here because I hated science. I didn't understand it at all, but I actually wound up getting an associate's degree in science.
Oh God.
Yeah. So it's really weird how that worked out.
Yeah.
But I went into nursing. So that's a science degree.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I was not into math or science. I really love psychology. Love that kind of stuff. English, that physical education.
Yep.
I love that. What else is there? History I did not like. That was boring.
Yeah.
But I do agree, like what they've done with the television shows, these channels, they've made it interesting by putting all these HD things in there, and they're not making it boring with your boring teachers. They're putting cool actors in there to narrate it and explain it. And
Oh yeah,
So
or like the movies,
yeah,
like the historical movies. Now, I'll tell you, I had a history teacher in the 11th grade, and she taught American history. And the way she would help us understand it is what she would do is she would show movies in class.
yeah,
And she showed a movie from 1989 called Glory. And it's about the 34th Regiment of the Union Army. And they were all black soldiers. They were all black. And they fought the Confederacy during the Civil War. And, because my history teacher, of course, in the 11th grade was black. And she taught us about the contributions that different black people, different African American people made throughout our history. Um, People such as Booker T. Washington, Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., um, the guy that founded Bethune Cookman, the people that founded the NAACP. I mean, it was very interesting. And I would pick her brain because she was around during the 60s when the civil rights movement was going on. And I would
Yeah.
say, I'd ask her, I'd say, Miss A, because I don't want to say her last name. I'd say, Miss A, was it really that bad here in the South when you, black people couldn't drink from the same water fountain as the white people? And she would say, yeah, they're not lying to you. I remember, she told me one time, she said, I remember going to an all black school because they would not integrate us with white kids. And you listen to these kids today, they don't, I mean, they're lucky they didn't have to put up with that. And I was listening to one of Dr. Martin Luther King's speeches because I still liked listening to his speeches on YouTube. And in a knock after midnight, Dr. Martin Luther King tells a story that he was awakened by a phone call in the middle of the night, and they had just finished the Alabama boycott. And the caller on the other end of the phone basically told him in no uncertain terms, "In, I'm tired of you and your mess now, and if you're not out of this town within 3 days, we're going to blow up your house."
Oh,
And he
wow.
said that, yeah, and he said that scared him. That
Wow.
really shook him. And he tried to make some coffee. Coffee couldn't get him some relief. And he finally just said, "You know what, Lord? I'm down here. I'm trying to do what's right. I'm trying to do what's right. I know what I'm doing is right, but I feel weak. I can't take it anymore." And Dr. King said the Lord told him, he said, "You stand up for justice and you do what I told you to do." And he got that inspiration, from his dad and from all these other people that went before him.
Yep.
And but he didn't say "in." He actually said the actual word in the speech. But if I said the word, people would think, "Oh, RJ's a racist. RJ's a racist." No, it's all about context. But I just didn't want to use the word. But it was very interesting because they back then they would use the word Negro, Negro, and that's how they referred to black people back then. Because there's a part in the "I Have a Dream" speech where Dr. Martin Luther King says that he he wants all black boys and black girls to be able to join hands, and will they sit down at the table of brotherhood?
Mm-hmm.
Sisters and brothers, I have a dream today. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And sisters and brothers, I have a dream today. And I mean,
Damn.
even as a white man, I cry when I hear that speech. I cry when I hear that speech because you know why I cry when I hear that speech? Because I know we still aren't there yet.
Nope.
We are not there yet as a country. Because I'm there as a person. I'm there as a person. But as a nation, we're not there yet. We still have a long ways to go.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me get off my soapbox. I know I'm taking up the whole show.
Oh no,
Okay.
no.
Well, that's good. That's good because there are a bunch of other things that I'd like to talk about here. And tonight we're probably only going to go about I'd say an hour and a half. We've been on for 32 minutes. I'm going to step away in about 10 to 15 minutes to grab some coffee, refill my coffee, and we're going to go another 45 minutes after that. So we got about an hour to go.
All right.
Let me get the chat here real quick, and then we'll get on to the next subject because we're comparing the days of when my lady RJ and I grew up because we're both around, or all three of us are around the same age. We grew up in the 70s to late 70s, and we grew up throughout the 80s, which was a phenomenal time for television. Sitcoms were great at that point. Music was great at that point, and just a lot of great stuff. There were some bad things going on in the world too, but for the most part, the times were a lot
Teenage Mutant Ninja
simpler.
Turtles.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
I love the Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
hero and a half shell, turtle power, right? Turtle
Yep.
power.
Yep.
Turtle power.
Turtle
Yes,
power.
ma'am.
Yeah, hero in a half shell, turtle power. Yeah,
Turtle
yeah.
power.
Yeah.
I really never got into that. My brother was.
I remember, like, I loved that show. It came on Fox every afternoon at 4:30, and I had to be in my bedroom and listen to that show every afternoon. I had all the figures too. I had Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo.
Mm-hmm.
I named my dog Raphael after the Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, it was awesome. But the thing that really got me about the 80s, because I was born in 79, but the thing that got me about the 80s was I remember when the shuttle Challenger exploded. You remember
Oh,
that?
shame.
Yeah. With Krista McAuliffe, the first teacher that was going to go enter space. Yeah, I was in grammar school. I think I was in second or third grade. We were watching it, and it blew up, and it was one of the saddest days I've ever seen. Like, it almost feels sadder that happening than what happened, during 9/11. I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from 9/11.
Right. But I was too young to really understand the gravity of it. They just told me that a teacher died, but they didn't tell me like what had actually happened.
I think it was a seal that was loose in the solid rocket booster. And it just created like some spark, and it just torched the thing. I mean, it just boom, gone.
Yeah, and the thing.
Wow.
I mean, it was amazing, but amazing decade. But I liked when Ronald Reagan stood at the Brandenburg Gate and he said, "If you want peace, if you want to show the world that you mean business, General Secretary Gorbachev, come to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate." And then everybody starts cheering, and he says, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." And everybody starts going ape shit. And then the wall came down in 89. I remember that day so well.
Yeah.
Like, that was, I mean, regardless if you were a Republican or Democrat, Reagan was one of those presidents you couldn't get nothing past that man. He would tell you
I
point blank how he felt about something.
Yeah, I agree. And see, Reagan was an actor, and so
Yeah.
he was well respected. I mean, um, I don't really have an opinion of Reagan. My father didn't like Reagan. My father
Hmm.
very democratic.
Hmm.
Uh, my father more down the middle like myself, but he just
Hmm.
was anti any Republican president. Um, and I'm
Yeah.
actually not that way. I'm all about who can do the best job for the best overall interests of the entire country.
Right.
Um, but
But the reason why,
Reagan, what?
yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah, the
RJ.
reason why I brought Reagan up is because I remembered that it was something like the '80s was that decade. The '80s and the '90s were the decades where history was made. I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely.
I
Yep.
remember in '91, I was in fourth grade, and um, I had just been removed from the blind school because I went to a blind school for 2 years, and then they brought me back here.
Hmm.
Um, the the Gulf War had happened. The first Gulf War had happened, and the house parent at the blind school made us sit there and listen to George Bush that night when the war happened.
Hmm.
And she said, guys, this is your future. This is going to be things that you're going to have to face when you grow up.
Right.
And I didn't, I knew what war was, but I didn't know why we had to go to another country to you know, fight the bad people. That's what I called them back then, is the bad people. And then
Hmm.
my dad, who was, of course, former military, explained why we had to go over there and who took us over there. And then President Clinton came into office. And then we had, um, God, we had the first thing we had in '93 was the Branch Davidians, and that was a clusterfuck because it was a 51-day siege. They ended up blowing themselves up or burning themselves to death. Then in
Hmm.
'96 we had the presidential election, which was Bill Clinton versus Bob Dole, which Bill Clinton came out victorious
Uh-huh.
in that one. And then in '98 we had the whole Monica Lewinsky scandal, which a
Hmm.
lot of these people, well, Holly's hauntings and happenings will remember that. But I mean, Clinton did a lot of good too. I mean, he basically signed the Medical Leave Act. Um, he also signed an act whereby if a child is removed from the home by Child Protective Services, they have to try to reunify the family within 12 months. And if reunification isn't possible, then they have to explain why.
Hmm.
He signed that law. Um, when Clinton left office, we had a surplus. We were not in debt. We did not have a high deficit. We had a higher surplus when he left office.
Well, yeah,
But
Bill Clinton did balance the budget. He balanced the
he
deficit, the
did.
budget, etc. And a lot of people have scrutinized him for kind of just shuffling money around to make it appear that way, but he actually did balance it.
He did.
And after that, it just started going the opposite way again. We've always
Well,
been a
but
country, a nation of just borrowing and borrowing and borrowing and continuing to print more and more money as needed, right? I mean, and just
well,
go
yeah.
further and further into debt, right? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. Well, and well, see too. You probably remember some of Jimmy Carter's some of the Jimmy Carter era. He's on his way out. He's like 90 something years old.
Mm-hmm.
That man's old. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
at any rate, we had we had it good back then. Nowadays, we have all this technology, um, and I think a lot of these kids, like Zachary, was born in 2005. So he's grown up with the internet. Okay, so he has a phone, he has a computer, he has a laptop, he has an Xbox and a PS4. Okay, he's never known what it was like for me and you and your girlfriend never to be without internet. We didn't have internet in our house until I was in college. So, I mean, and you mentioned dial-up internet. It was something,
Yes.
it made that
It
it
made
made
that
that weird.
crazy dial-up modem sound. Yeah.
Oh my god, I used to hate it. I used to hate it
We
because
we we all did.
it would hurt my ears. Well, you got to
Hmm.
remember, my hearing's really good because it has to compensate for the loss of sight.
Of course,
But
of
you
course.
know, but and then I remember when we first got fast internet for the first time. I think it was DSL.
Hmm.
Oh my god, I was like, no more dial up, yay!
That's fantastic.
And then I remember the first time I discovered Skype in 2010.
Hmm.
Oh my god. But man,
You know what?
uh, yeah.
You know what, RJ? You were talking about Jimmy Carter. His wife is still
Hmm.
alive too.
Yeah, I know.
He's 97, she's 95. And you know what that
Yeah.
tells me is they've lived a happy and healthy and sane life.
Yeah.
And the story goes, happy wife, happy life, right? And
Hmm.
you know, obviously, no matter what anyone says about Jimmy Carter, obviously he can keep a woman around for God, they were married in 1946. I mean, that's Jesus Christ, 46, 56, 60, 70, 80, 90, 06, 16, 50. Is that correct? No. No. Hold on a second here. Yes. So they've been married for like 70 years? No
Damn.
way. Really? Holy Moses. Like
Hmm.
I haven't followed Carter forever. Yeah, I knew he was getting up there,
But
but
I
yeah,
mean, but I mean,
he's
my God.
97. His wife is 95, and they're both still alive.
Yeah.
I'm like wow, that's
I'm.
phenomenal.
Well, and that's the thing. People are living longer today than they did
Yeah,
back when we were growing up too. I mean, look at the Queen. She was 96 when she died.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, we're gonna bury her tomorrow. Well, the British people are. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even that. I mean, look. I mean, history's gonna be. History was made last Thursday when King Charles assumed being king, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, I wonder what kind of king he's gonna be," and I'm like, "Well, we'll just have to wait and see what kind of king he'll be." I mean, because it's hereditary. They don't get to elect their king. It's hereditary. So then when Charles dies, William will take over the throne. And William, oddly enough, is my age, or a year younger at least.
You know what, RJ? I just looked this up, and I'm gonna have to do a story on this. I'm gonna have to save this. CNBC did a news story last year.
Uh huh.
And so Carter's been married now for for 76 years, but last year they did a story. Jimmy Carter being married for 75 years is an extraordinary thing. Here are his secrets for a successful relationship. Yes, man.
Damn.
Yes, dear, here you go. Just please stop the emotional overload. Like, what do you do, man? 76 years, RJ. The dude's been married longer than
76
most.
years.
The dude's been married for as long as my dad lived, 76 years. Wow. That is a phenomenal accomplishment, bro. That is something we should be celebrating, brother.
Exactly. That is like, and then if they make it, if the both of them make it to 100 and 101 or whatever,
God bless them, brother.
oh my God. I mean, you look at Jimmy Carter. Oh my God. I mean, that dude. I mean, look at what he did after he left office. I mean, he developed the Carter Center. He does all these initiatives and stuff. I mean, the guy. I mean, him and his wife still, to this day, are still doing things.
I think they got married when she was 19 and he was 21. Just think about that, RJ. Today, our 19 and 20 and 21-year-olds, yeah, legally they're adults, but they haven't grown up at that age. They're nowhere near grown up at that age. Like, teenagers, even adult teenagers, 18, 19, and early 20s. Like, it's not the same as it was back then. I mean, they were married in their late teens, early 20s, and they've been together ever since for 76 years. Wow. Yeah. Nobody's talking about that. These are the things we should be celebrating.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird, Eli, because like I remember growing up in church, and our pastor would get up and he would say things like, "Okay, we so and so's been married for 45 years. So and so's been married for 50 years, but 76 or 75 years now, 76 years." I mean, that's unheard of. I remember when Johnny Cash passed away, and they were talking about how long Johnny and June Carter were married. I mean, you don't see that these days. That's another thing too. Marriage is just convenient. It's not. It's just convenient today. It's not like it was when we were growing up.
Right.
You know, where you found a woman. I mean, and you married her and you stayed with her for the rest of your life.
Right.
That's just how I feel about that. Where's your girlfriend at?
She's muted. I'm gonna have her pop back on here because I'm gonna step away and take about a 5-minute break to use the restroom and refill my Java. You know what Java is, right, RJ? Right, babe? My coffee.
Yeah.
And what I'd like to do, what I'd like you folks to do while I'm on break is have my ladies share, how was it, growing up for you, babe? And you were born in 75. How was it for you growing up in the, well, let's say 80s, because you were still really young in the 70s like me? What were some of your experiences? And again, I know you know the drill. I just want to remind you, let's try not to put anything out there that, will cause issues as much as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute. I'm actually gonna leave it here on the main screen. I'm not gonna show the StreamYard. So folks, here you go, RJ and Babe, take it away.
Alrighty.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So what kind of kid were you? Like,
what kind of kid? I was kind of a shy kid. I was very shy.
Wow.
Kind of the one that stood back in the group.
Yep.
you know?
Kind of like Eli, right? I mean, that's what it sounds like. You and
Yeah,
Eli were kind of
a
like the
little
shy
bit.
one.
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't really put myself out there too much,
Yeah. Wow.
but it's changed now. As an adult,
Oh
I'm a
yeah.
totally different person.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
was me. I wouldn't say that I was a shy kid, but I didn't like when I was in elementary school. I was more or less, I wanted to play, I wanted to do things, but I like to, I would like to be around the grown-ups a lot. I didn't like to really play with the other kids all that much. I
Yeah.
just like to be around the grown-ups because I would like to learn, from them, and I wanted to talk to them. And when I was at the blind school, we had this one teacher. Well, she wasn't a teacher, but she was a dorm parent, and her name was Miss H. And Miss H would always say, "RJ, go mingle with the boys. Don't be hovering around me all the time. You need to go talk to the boys and mingle with the boys." And I was little. I was like 8 or 9, and I'm glad she told me that because she's like, you need to be around people your age. And as I got older, like in middle school, high school, I remember going to I remember going to school and hearing, "Oh, dude, I went to the mall and blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Well, dang, I wish I could go to the mall, but my mom won't take me. I got to do homework."
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
my God, I was like, I do remember going to the bonfire. When I was in high school, I'd go to the homecoming activities and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I did those things.
Mm.
I had a group of friends,
Oh yeah.
but we weren't like the popular kids. We were more of like the band geeks. We were in the color guard and
Oh
that kind
yeah.
of stuff.
Oh yeah. The kind of like the nerds.
Yeah, yeah. We
Hmm.
were we were all in the spirit of the school and
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's
I
what
was
we did.
in. Well, I was on the principal's advisory committee. I was one of the students on there, and basically what we would do is we would have a meeting, and the principal would tell us, "Okay, this is what I'm thinking about doing. What do you guys think?" And we would tell her, "Hey, we think this is a good idea," or "No, we don't think it's a good idea." And
Hmm,
our principal would actually listen to us,
that's cool.
and she would, you know, as long as it was, not against school board policy, she would implement whatever she needed to. I mean,
Yeah.
for a few years, we could not wear shorts in school. At the high school, we couldn't wear shorts because people were abusing the policy, the dress code. But that was before I went to the high school. So then, when this principal that I was fortunate to have my 10th grade and 11th grade and 12th grade years, she said, "RJ, I'm thinking about bringing shorts back to school." I said, "Well, if people want to do it, the right way and everything, I'm not opposed to it." And she goes, "Okay, so what the rest of y'all think?" And they're like, "Well, we agree with RJ. We're not opposed to it." So the next week, she got on the announcement. She goes, "I'm going to let y'all wear shorts, but she says the first time y'all screw up, we're going to put it back like it was." And so everybody followed the rules. They did what they were supposed to do, and to this day, they're still allowed to wear shorts in the high school here. And that was
Wow.
like 20 years ago, 20 some odd years ago. And I was a part of that. I was a part of getting it reinstated at the high school. And even now, I still see my former principal in public. And she's like, "Oh, hey, RJ, how have you been?" I'm like, "All right, I'm all right, Miss J." And then I had a principal in the ninth grade. Her name was Miss R. And she actually, um, when she found out I was coming to the high school the next year, she invited me to the high school. I actually went on a field trip to the high school. She invited me. And we walked around the school and talked a little bit and everything because she had my sister. And so the first week of ninth grade, I was called down to the office. And I walked into the office and I'm like, "Why am I here? Did I do something wrong?" And the secretary goes, "No, Miss R just wants to talk to you." I'm like, "About what? Did I?" And then Miss R walks out and she goes, "Come on back, RJ." I'm like, "Okay." And she shuts the door and I say, "What's going on? Did I do something wrong?" She goes, "No, no, no." And then she puts her hand on my shoulder. She goes, "How's your first week of school going? Is there anything I can do to help you?" I'm like, "It's going great." And she goes, "Well, sounds like everything's going good. Is there anything that you want me to do for you that your teachers aren't doing? Are you sure you don't need any help? Because if you need any help, you can come to my office and I'll help you with your work." And I'm like, "No, ma'am, I appreciate it, but I've got Miss, I've got my helper and everything's going well." And I always remembered that.
Yeah.
And then my senior year of high school, the school board had made Miss R the superintendent. So she got to see me go into the ninth grade and then graduate from high school. She got to give
Oh,
me my diploma.
that's
And
great.
recently, like a few months ago, Zach was doing a play and Miss R was there. She's in her 80s now. And I said, "Miss R, I, you remember who I am?" And she's like, "Oh, hi, RJ. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in 20 years." And I'm like, "I know." I said, I said, "I'm 40." Uh, at the time, I was 42. I said, "I'm 42 now." She goes, "Oh, good Lord. When, when you're
I'm back, by the way.
82, hey, Eli." She goes, "When you're 82, then you can talk about your age."
Hey,
But
RJ,
no,
real quick. I think on your end, I think if you move a little bit off to the side, I think there's some radio interference coming through your microphone.
okay, hold up. No, that's not me.
Oh, it is.
That is not me.
Oh, it is.
Well, let
Let's
me
see.
let me go ahead and mute you for a second.
Okay.
Hang on a second. RJ, let me see if that's coming from you.
Con?
Babe, that's
Yeah,
coming from you. That's coming from you.
coming from me.
Yeah,
So what's wrong with me?
move your phone away from the area wherever you're at. It's interfering with something. There you go.
How is
Yeah,
that?
that's better. Oh,
That is fine. That is fine. Yeah, you
yeah,
probably
that's
had your
better.
phone. That's called radio frequency interference when you're on like Wi-Fi and stuff. If you're near an electrical appliance or something, it's better now.
Yep.
Sorry about that. So that was coming from you because I can mute you folks from my end and I tested it and it's all good now. But continue because there are some things I want to get into and I want to right now we're at 1 hour and 1 minute. We're going to go another 29 minutes or so, and I want to get into some other things regarding,
Okay, go ahead.
the past compared to the present. Okay, did my lady get, babe, did you get booted off the other one?
Yeah.
Okay. You were still there, but I removed you from there. Now you're back. You're good. Okay. So, here's one thing I want to get, and let me start off by asking my lady first, because she hasn't had a whole lot of airtime, and I know you've been gracious to give her, a lot of breaks, RJ, because she's not feeling well. Oh, baby, the radio frequency is coming back again.
I'm not
Can you move
talking or doing anything.
Can you move your phone from wherever it's at, or?
Yeah,
There we go.
Yeah, that's better.
That is better. Okay, awesome. So, in my opinion, I feel we had much better content when we were growing up in the 70s, the 80s, and even the early 90s or so. We had real situation comedies that taught us good old traditional morals, values, and ethics. If you folks remember the show, Family Ties with Michael J. Fox and Michael Gross and Justine Bateman. Remember Jason Bateman's sister, Justine Bateman? And we had shows like Who's the Boss? And those were shows I grew up with and religiously watched, because it was, they were all scripted, but they were scripted in such a realistic way that families would live their lives, right? And they were very wholesome. I think that's a great word to use. They were very wholesome.
Leave It to Beaver.
And Leave It to Beaver. Well, yeah, we're going back. We're going way back. That was a very wholesome, situation comedy as well. The Andy Griffith Show. A lot of those shows back then. I mean, I really enjoyed those shows. Now we get into the mid-90s, and this whole new trend of reality TV starts to sink in, and we go from teaching our kids traditional morals, values, and ethics to a world full of shitty drama. And now that trend's carried on to YouTube and other social media platforms. And now it just seems like all these major networks, CBS, ABC, NBC, my lady told me earlier tonight, and I saw a commercial for this. They're doing a reality show on the former, sitcom, The Love Boat. I used to love The Love Boat. Now they're doing a reality show on The Love Boat. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me, right? So things are different now. First, I want to get my lady's take on it and get yours, RJ. What are your thoughts about what are your thoughts about content from the younger days of us growing up to the crap that we're seeing now and that our youth is seeing now? And do you feel that's affecting our youth?
Well, sweetheart, I don't think you realize that there are family sitcoms that are on TV today.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had when we were growing up. Like, they've brought those back. We had Modern Family. That was a great one. That was a very realistic sitcom and it was very good for the family to watch. There's one out I think it's called Home Economics. It's a really funny one. There's a couple out on CBS that are really good. So they haven't taken those lighthearted comedies away.
Yes,
and just replace them with the reality TV.
Yeah, but here's the thing, baby. If we look at the ratings, Modern Family, I just looked it up. They had their last season a couple years ago.
Yeah, but how many seasons did they have?
Oh, I think it was 12 seasons?
Exactly.
11 seasons. Yeah. And I understand that, baby, but that was one show. Like, we are more flooded with fake reality TV appearing real. And it's because people love seeing people fight. People love, seeing just, just drama. They just love seeing that kind of stuff, and that's outweighing the good content. And that's part of the reason.
I love the reality shows. And I do love that fake instigated drama that they have there because it's in the TV. It's not in my life. You know?
Okay.
I could sit there,
That's
I could watch it, I could turn it off and walk away. They're not affecting me and my personal life.
Ooh.
Yeah, but what are you learning from that?
I don't have to learn anything. It's just a guilty pleasure.
Okay, let's stop right there. No disrespect. I want to hone in a little bit more on that because this is where you bring tremendous value to my channel. And I think RJ will probably agree. That's why you've got to have men and women. You got to get both sides of the spectrum here because like I've always said, with no disrespect, babe, I love you. You know that women are emotional beings that respond to everything emotionally based on how they're feeling in the present moment. And women's emotions need to be constantly stimulated all day, every day, or you get bored. Tell me, baby, if your emotions are not stimulated even for a second, you get bored. Let's be real about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I mean, baby, I try to give you as much attention as possible. I give you a lot of love. You know that. You know I'm a good guy. I know you're a good woman, but I can't always be there to stimulate your emotions 24/7, 365. First of all, I would never get any work done, right? And couldn't run the business. Second of all, it would drive me fucking insane. You know that, right? So you got to find ways. Which is why you fill in the void. You have fake instigated drama. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yep. Which is why I have my senseless TV that I watch.
Well,
God,
that's
at least
like with me. That's like with me in my WWE and AEW
Right.
and stuff like that. I mean, as long as you know that it's scripted and that you know that it's not real, and I mean, because even your reality shows are scripted to a certain extent. But yeah, I agree with with you that you and your woman both. I think there has to be a balance, but
Correct.
I think what's happening with social media is that we come on here and we are set in our ways. We're human. We're set in our ways, some of us, and we meet somebody that's set in their ways, and you might get two people that might agree, but then you get two people, one might not agree, and then one might, the other one might say, well, you're wrong, and it causes a fight. But I don't think that it has to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. If people would just learn to get along. See, that's the problem. We don't want to learn to get along anymore. We want to bite each other's head off. We want to tear each other's head off at the latest opportunity. And
Okay.
instead of really learning from each other and learning about each other and learning how to care for one another. We
Correct.
just rather you cuckold and all this and that and everything
Well,
else.
thank you for sharing the rendition of the past. Let me get in here real quick. So I want to ask you and my lady something based on what you just said, RJ. And I know you get a little excited, and yes, those were the days, and I was a part of that, and it's all good. I can take it. I'm a big boy. I got my big boy panties on. But anyway, is it fair? Let me ask my lady first, and then we'll get to you, RJ. Is it fair to say, babe, and then RJ afterwards, that people tend to replicate or duplicate what they see in the media, such as mainstream media, TV, or the internet, social media sites like YouTube, Facebook, etc.? Is it safe to say that what people see, even on these fake reality TV shows, they tend to replicate that and duplicate that. And that's what's kind of messing up our youth nowadays, because that's what I think is happening. What are your thoughts about that, babe?
Are you saying basically that the youth are just they're mirroring the what's going on social
Exactly.
media
And on TV and on these,
and
Big
on
Brother
TV?
shows and all that stuff. That's what I think is happening. I think that they're watching that because it's stimulating them. It's entertainment. It's cringy, you know, and then they're living their lives in that way. They're
I
replicating that.
do
That's what I
think
think is
that is
happening.
happening. I do
Okay.
think that is happening at some point, but there are a lot of positive YouTube people out there for the children,
Mm-hmm.
um, that I wouldn't want to take away. There are a
Okay.
lot of people that are out there that are on TikTok that are trying to promote good things and teach good things for kids. Um, Jojo Siwa is one that comes to mind. She just has so much positivity and happiness that comes out of her, and she just wants to help and teach so many young children and people out there. So and she started as a very young child on TikTok.
Well, okay, that's fair, and I agree with you on that. But people like JoJo is JoJo, right?
Mm-hmm.
JoJo and myself and other positive creators that are trying to reach these people in a positive way. When our message is being diluted and squashed by fake instigated drama online and in the mainstream media, that's getting 3 to 4 times the traction. Like, how do we combat that? How do we compete with that? And it's not that I even
Yeah,
want to
what
compete or we want to
sucks?
compete. How do we overcome this fake bullshit to give people real reality?
Well, what sucks is JoJo was super cute because she was like 6 when she came out.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody loved her and followed her. So she had that going for her.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure, the cute young women, and then they get to be, of legal age, and now they're even cuter, and now they have a following of thirsty beta males, and
No,
it's
no, it
just
wasn't that. It's just all the kids, all the little kids. It was like it was like when Bieber came out,
Mm.
mm,
all the young girls, you know.
yeah,
It was the young people following them.
right. Real quick, Holly's hauntings and happenings. That's like a tongue twister to say it. Have a good night, everyone. I have to get to bed. Good night, Holly. I'll
Good
reach out to
night.
you more tomorrow. Thank you for everything lately. Welcome back to the moderator crew and the Coach Eli private Facebook group chat. Take it easy. I'll be in touch. All right, go ahead, babe.
Oh, yeah, no. I really don't have too much more to say. Other than, yeah, I do really love just escaping and watching these shows. Um, but I also like my normal television. Like I was watching Gilmore Girls all day today. I wasn't watching reality TV. So it goes back and forth for me.
No, I understand that. I understand what you're saying. Let me hear RJ's take on this. Do you feel that good, wholesome content that our youth needs or people need in general is being squashed by reality TV, like fake instigated drama, reality TV? I mean, some of it's
No,
real to a certain extent. What's that?
I don't think it's being squashed. But go on. You ask him.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, RJ? Are you there, RJ? I can't hear
I
you.
think I think a lot of it um, is just stupid. I mean, I remember turning on VH1 when I was a kid, and you would hear music. Now, it's loopholes, drag race,
Mm-hmm.
and all this other disgusting nonsense that I do not care to even repeat on your show.
Right, like
Um,
MTV's also doing 16 and Pregnant instead of playing videos like they used to, right, RJ? That's what you're
yeah,
saying, right?
yeah, and I hate that. I mean, now it's like there's nothing good on TV anymore, and
Right.
so what I usually will do is I will just come on YouTube if and see who's live, or just listen to some videos, because there's nothing really valuable. If you're going to make a video, make something that's valuable that people are going to want to listen to, that people are going to want to watch um, on the platform. Not this nonsense of, oh, well, he tried to steal my man, or uh, she, she tried to steal my man. Mm, he tried to, he tried to steal my woman, or whatever. Look, we only have
Yeah,
one life to live.
what you're talking
Why would
what you're talking about. Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead, RJ. Go ahead.
um we only have one life to live. Why would you want to waste it away with this stupid drama that's really not going to get you noticed or anything like that? And that's all I got to say about that.
Right, RJ, and it sounds like you're getting tired. I know you guys probably want to go soon, and we can wrap this up. We're at an hour and 18 minutes. We can even start wrapping it up now. I'm just going to say, I think what started a lot of this trend was the Jerry Springer show. I'm sure both of you remember the Jerry Springer
Oh
show.
my
I
god.
don't think they're still making new episodes. I think like, if I can look up, Jerry Springer final episode was, it's 2015. When did it end? NBC decided not to continue with the show, consistently decreasing ratings and falling viewership. The Jerry Springer Show experienced bad ratings during its 5,000 episode run, but continued to hold on to its viewership. Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing. How many times can you do the same shit every day with different people? What would happen on Jerry Springer? You get a man and a woman that come on. They're talking about cheating. They have them amp it up. They let them fight. Steve Wilkos would come in and with his big ass grin, and then the other security guards, and they would they would pretend to hold back, the man and the woman. Then they would let them go and fight some more. Then they'd hold them back, right? And then Jerry
Well,
does
now
his
Steve
closing
Wilkos has his
monologue and
own
goes home.
show.
Well, yes, he did. I don't know if it's still around, and he had a YouTube channel, but I don't think, like, Steve Wilkos actually. I think there were some people within some group of people that we used to hang out with. I think somebody got a chance to interview him or something like that. To be honest with you, Steve Wilkos, after the Jerry Springer show, he has not made it big. I mean, people know who he is, but
He had a show.
yes, he
He had
did
his
have
own
a show.
talk show afterward.
Yes, but it didn't get the ratings that the Springer show did.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you're talking about when Jamie and Shangy used Cameo, because I remember that, because they you could get celebrities to record messages on Cameo. That's what that was.
I
I
think
remember that.
Wilkos is now running his show on YouTube. Like, I'm trying to see what he's doing. He was on mainstream media, but I don't think he's on mainstream media anymore. I think a lot of these people have taken their shows to YouTube because they have a lot more control of what they can do. And the production
They
cost
might
as
even,
far as, yeah.
I'm sorry, baby. They might even be taking them to some of those other streaming networks like Paramount or Philo or something like that, because
Yeah,
on
Paramount
those
Plus.
networks there's no restrictions with languages like or anything like that. You can say whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, you know. So he may be on something like that.
Yeah, I don't know where he's at right now, but I think what he's doing is he's showing clips. It looks like he's showing clips of his shows. And wow, his channel grew. Like, wow, I can't believe how much he grew. He has 1.66 million subscribers. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. What were you saying, RJ? That wasn't the real Steve Wilkos that those other people were talking about? It was a cameo, you said?
No, no. What they do is there's a site, and it's called Cameo, and you pay money, and the celebrities will record a cameo for you. And
Oh.
Steve Wilkos was one of the celebrities, and I think Jamie had Steve Wilkos deliver a message to Shangy or something like that.
Oh, he paid. Oh, maybe the sponsor paid to. Oh, that makes. Jesus, man.
It was
I didn't
fun.
know that.
It was funny. It was funny because that was when I was hanging out with Jamie and all them. It was really hilarious because Steve Wilkos had us rolling. It was it was hilarious when it happened.
I never knew how that actually happened, but now it makes sense. It was probably paid for by the sponsor, and I mean that probably cost a bit of money to get that done, and that's not something that these guys would pay for out of pocket.
Yeah. It's something called Cameo. I think it's cameo.com or something like that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, RJ, is even to do the cameo, it's going to cost thousands of dollars, and that's not something that these guys are going to pay out of pocket. That's sponsored. So now I get it. Now I'm glad you mentioned it, RJ, because now I'm learning a lot about things I really didn't understand that was happening out here on YouTube back in those days. I thought these people really were in contact with Steve Wilkos, but somebody paid for a cameo. Wow.
I think they all. I think what might have happened was some of them pulled their money together and did something. I don't know how it all worked, but it was.
No, it was sponsored, brother. No, I know how it was done. It's not a big deal, and quite frankly, yeah, that's kind of funny, but I mean, what did it accomplish?
My
Nothing.
God, we could go back into your archives and show your girlfriend all the shit me and you went through the past 4 years back and forth. I mean,
but it's unnecessary.
Well, I know, but some of those videos you do have to admit were actually funny.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Especially the one where especially the one where you and JB were like, "Fuck you, fuck you."
All right. Honest,
it was funny.
it was funny. I know, but here's the thing. With all due respect, RJ, it's like rehashing those things gives the people we've been trying to get away from exactly what they want, right? And yeah,
Well,
it was
I
funny.
that.
Yeah, it was funny. And go ahead.
At the time it wasn't, but looking back now, it was funny. But you see, that's what people want. That's the reason why I brought it up. Is that's what people want. People want the drama. But once the drama dies down and people get tired of it, then people don't want it no more. See, that's the thing that I think that you're trying to get at is, the drama's dying down. I know it's died down on my channel, but
yes,
man, we had a good show tonight. I do know this. I do need to go to bed. So my final thoughts are, I think people just need to learn how to get along. People just need to chill and just treat people with respect is really all.
Right.
Amen.
Amen,
And
RJ. RJ, go ahead.
I appreciate letting me up, Eli, and everything. Um, I hope I really hope we can continue doing this more. Especially because I like the format we're doing now. On your channel and my channel and stuff like that. But I hope we can bring some more new channels in. Like Lewis Fuller, Holly. And because it's not just me and you. There's other channels that need to grow too, and I organically too. And I would like to see all of us, together. Like one night we do a show here, the next night we do a show on Holly's channel. Just switch it up. You know what I mean? Because I think it
No,
would
we
help everybody
yeah.
in the
No, we
long run.
we absolutely go ahead.
In the long run, I think it would help everybody in the long run.
Yeah. I totally agree with that, and that's what we're going to continue to do. And we've got a lot more content coming. But is there anything else you want to mention, RJ, before I put you backstage? And I know you got to get some rest, and I'll wrap up the show either with my lady and I or by myself. Go ahead. Anything else you want to mention?
Well, I do want to say that um, you know, if anybody has not subscribed to my channel from Eli's channel, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. It's RJ Sandifer, and hit that bell for all notifications. And be looking forward to some more live streams and things because you know, I'm really happy where my channel is at now, and I'm looking forward to creating more good content for you guys. And so,
Mm-hmm.
if you have not subscribed, I would encourage you to do so. Um, and if you have subscribed to my channel, thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. But also, be looking out. Be listening to the Creator Insider YouTube channel on Tuesdays. That's a wealth of information. Um, they're talking about some things regarding monetization of shorts, possibly lowering the requirements for monetization to get into the YouTube Partner Program might be possible. Um, I mean, this platform's changing for the better, and I'm glad to see what's going on. But Eli, I'm gonna go ahead and run. Thank you for having me on, brother. Um, D, nice seeing you again, and I'll talk to y'all later.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
Yes.
Bye
RJ.
bye.
Thank you,
See you.
RJ. Have a good night. All right.
Yeah.
All right,
Hey,
babe. Do
baby,
you want
let
to?
Rosie come up for a little bit.
No, baby. We need to wrap this up. Seriously, we need to wrap this up, and I will talk with you about some other things behind the scenes in just a little bit. But do you want to wrap this up with me, or do you want me to let you go and I can just wrap it up by myself in a couple minutes?
All right. Well, I'll have my final thoughts.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Rosie, tomorrow, come back and yes, tomorrow, and we'll have you up on the show. That would be awesome. Um, and then yeah, tonight was a great show. I really enjoyed hearing all of all about how you grew up, how RJ grew up. It was just really interesting. So it was a great show. And I look forward to tomorrow. But I'll let you close out the show and you can put me behind stage. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Holly, for everything. I look forward to chatting with you tomorrow.
Thank you, babe. I
And
appreciate
as
it.
well with you, Rosie.
Okay. Thank you, babe. And I will be off the air in 5 minutes or less. And we will enjoy the rest of our night. Love you, babe. And thank you again. All right. Bye, babe.
Bye.
All right. So that was RJ Sandifer, my good longtime 4+ year friend out here on YouTube, blind and autistic YouTuber RJ Sandifer, and my wonderful, beautiful, amazing lady joining me on the show. My final thoughts here. I got to tell you, this is how I honestly feel. I genuinely care about the world. I care about people. I care about everyone having the best possible shot of accomplishing whatever their hearts desire. But the problem is nowadays we are consumed and overly consumed with stupid shit to appease our emotions. Like my lady was saying earlier, like these Big Brother shows and these fake reality TV shows, they're somewhat real, somewhat fake. I mean, they're somewhat scripted, somewhat not, but these people are getting paid and they're told to amp up certain things. So they're more fake than real, right? But people watch them because, especially women, because women need constant stimulation with their emotions all day, every day. Unfortunately, some men nowadays act like women. And they need constant stimulation all day, every day. And when they can't get it, in their real life, they'll go on TV or on YouTube and they look for this, fake, drama BS type of content to just pass the time. And that's doing absolutely nothing to better your life. It's not. It's making your life really pathetic, more pathetic than it is, right? And the thing that continues to get to me is that, content creators like myself and coaches like myself that truly, truly care about people's best interest and really want people to rise above this. Whenever we talk about this, more than half the people, shit on us for trying to help you folks become better people. I just don't understand it. Do people want to live a real life or do people want to live a lie nowadays? I mean, do people just want to be something that they're not just to pass the time? Or do you want to create something great that people can remember you for, right? And that's been the biggest struggle for me. It's not even really a struggle. I understand why it's happening. I understand the way the modern world is. And I'm doing whatever I can to change it and bring back more positivity. But the bottom line is this. People are going to consume and create more content on things that people more so consume because the more they consume it, the more advertisements they can sell, the more money is to be made. And as long as drama or fake drama content or whatever is the most profitable thing on the mainstream media and YouTube and other platforms, I hate to say it, that's where the majority of the focus is going to be. But again, is that something that if you consume during most of your free time, is that going to make you a better person? Is that going to inspire you or motivate you to do something great? Or is that going to just make you, just feel lazy and feel like, okay, I don't deserve better than this, right? So give me a second here. So we're going to continue moving forward here with positivity. And we're going to do whatever we can to turn this world around and make it a better place. And I'm going to continue fighting the fight because, number one, I believe in myself. Number two, I've had lots of drama in my younger days and in the past out here on social media and YouTube. And I've stepped away from it and I'm never going back to it. And if anyone else wants to make that change and start bettering their lives, come on over here and watch our live streams and ask legitimate questions, and we will support you and help you work through whatever you want to work through and help you become a better and happier and healthier person. So that's that. With that being said, time to wrap things up. We are at 1 hour and 36 minutes. Again, thank you to RJ Sandifer for being here, and thank you to my lady for being here. I know my lady was talking about a show tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to do a show from the studio, if we're going to do a show from the studio tomorrow. I'm going to definitely do at least a walk. But Rosie, we'll get to you. I'll talk with you behind the scenes, and we will set up a time where we can maybe interview you, or we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll even do a pre-recorded interview or something like that. We will figure it out. I'm trying to create content right now that stays on track and is positive, and it's going to help people, better their lives. I'm trying to avoid most drama. So Rosie, let me know behind the scenes. What do you want to talk about? What type of show would you like to do? How do you want to collaborate? Let me know about that, and then we can figure out a time to make it happen. So with that being said, folks, have yourselves a great night. Take care, and as always, be good to each other.